Huh. How'd that get there? More important question is, how did that get there?
Like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications.
I know it's been a while since we made an update. Nose is a little stopped up, that's why I sound funny. We've done a lot of work on this Jeep since the last video. We changed the intake, put freeze plugs in her, and the other engine. As you can see, it had a freeze plug leaking and was just a nasty pig. The valve cover was leaking, everything on it was leaking. We cleaned it up, put some new freeze plugs in it, cleaned up a new valve cover, that kind of thing. New water pump, thermostat, new AC components, radiator, heater core, all that stuff, exhaust manifold, everything, got her going. And then, I don't know, 5-6 months ago, it started knocking. And I've got a parts 94 model that I ended up with. So, heck, we pulled the motor out of it and sent it to the machine shop. Bored it 20 over, worked the head, and we rebuilt it. Then the boys pulled that motor out for me. Got it out. It was a 2-wheel drive, you can see. And we started taking it apart. It was nasty. I don't know if they ever changed it. Looked like it had been overheated. That sludge was hard. It didn't do well. Cleaned up that's the new head. Well, it ain't new. That's the one we had reworked. We cleaned everything up and taped it off. Painted it all with Rust-Oleum. That's brushed on enamel. We assembled the engine, put everything together like it's supposed to be, primed it, and Isaac started pulling the engine. That's Isaac hanging out from under there looking like a wicked witch of the east. There under the Jeep, like the Jeep ate him or something. And then that's the old junk about to come out. We're stripping everything back we can to get it out of the way. And one more beauty shot of it hanging there on the engine stand. It won't ever look like that again. But hey, and Sarah was my painter. She painted everything, cleaned it up. She was degreasing some parts. Isaac got the old one sitting on the ground there, come out. Then the new one's hanging there, fixing to go in. Another glamour shot of it ready to go. Yep, there we go. We're sitting in it. This is the initial break-in. What the gauges look like, Mama?
Looking good.
So are you. Let's see, before we did all that, we had replaced all the AC with 94 model 134A stuff. This one was R12. We had actually changed the intake manifold because it had several bolts stripped out on it, and I just put a later model and put the pulley set up, you know, where the later model belt pulley and power steering pump. Now you do have to change your power steering lines. These were leaking like a sieve. We changed all of that right after we rebuilt the engine. Put a set of K suspension 4-hole injectors in. They seem to do okay. Everything's new under here. We had put that coolant filter on and flushed the old engine before it acted up. I mean, it was terrible. It had rusty brown, terrible water. Don't run water in here. Put coolant in there. But what we did, you know, these We got a new heater core too, and new AC condenser, or evaporator core and condenser, and every piece on it but that one line is new. But we got, let's see here, we put a new hose here that's 3/4, and then when we adapted our fittings down, we adapted 3/4 to 5/8 down there to the bottom. So when we came off of our block that's made by Wicks filters, we just put a 5/8 fitting in one side, 3/4 in this side. So that dropped us there. Well, I found a hose that is 3/4 with a 90-degree bend that goes to 5/8. So we're 3/4 top, 5/8 to the suction side going in the water pump, 3/4 out to the filter, 5/8 from filter into the heater core. That works out good. We've done a little brake work on her too. Booster and master cylinder set up off of 95 so that we could have a dual diaphragm booster. Much better. We also, I'll put in some pictures. We did a disc brake upgrade kit on the back. Not really a kit. Bought it from a guy on eBay, and then I put new parts on it. Just a Liberty brake swap on the 8 1/4 that's under here. All of our brake parts were for a 2004 Jeep Liberty, including those hoses, and those brackets came with the little setup I bought from the guy on eBay. They're from the stock Liberty. So I was able to use the hoses and just hook them, weld them to the axle tube there and hook them straight up like they're supposed to be. People have got to stop putting these lines on without fastening that up. When you don't have that steel line attached to something solidly like that, it will eventually break from vibration. You have to have it fastened. That's why there's a rubber hose on the end. Enough said. One big difference is in here. You'll notice I've put the Jeep back together. We've been driving. I daily drive it. Runs like a sewing machine now. Main trouble we were having in here was electrical gremlins, different size fuses than they were supposed to be. We traced everything out. Down here on the floor, you can see a burnt spot. That was under the floor mats. Don't look at all that dirt. We've been playing with it. Somebody put a 30-amp fuse in the dome light circuit. And when it started popping the fuse out from in the power distribution out on by the engine, they put a piece of copper wire in it. So the next thing it did was fry a section of harness because it had rubbed into right there under the carpet. Melted a long section. I pulled it completely out of the Jeep. Rewired it, wrapped it in felt tape. Harness tape, not felt tape. And I ran it from here, it connects back in there, over to there under the dash instead of through the floorboard. And that power windows, door locks work. Everything works now, pretty much like it should. We're still playing with cruise control, different things, but I've been driving it every day. Cold AC, good hot heat, ugly dirty seats that we got new ones for. Okay, this is a 50-degree cold start. It's been setting for 2 days. Fired right up. Little bit, I don't know. I got a mailing stock, regrind camshaft and lifters, new push rods from mailing, new rocker arms from mailing. New timing gear and chain from Mailing. New spark plugs, of course, cap, rotor, whole 9 yards. I didn't change the distributor. I did change the injectors. It's still got a little bit of a, I don't know, funny sound to it. A little bit. I don't know. It runs good though. I'll tell you that. We got brand new exhaust under there. I have to look up the company. I think it's called Time Auto Parts on eBay. Northeastern Exhaust is the name brand. Called Northeastern Stainless or North something like that from eBay. Hey, it works. Muffler's a little louder than I like, but it's okay. And then we got a converter, catalytic converter from Amazon for 75 bucks. Autosaver 88 on Amazon. So we'll see how all that works. Yep. That's what she sounds like at, I don't know, 900 or 1,000, sitting there cold still. All that black was on there. Before we rebuilt the engine. Got to clean it off, see if it's still doing it. I don't think it is. It was running fat. Woo, it's fatter than me. Runs out pretty smooth. That's cold. I'm kind of proud of the little thing. When I changed this manifold, you know, the newer style only has one fuel line coming in. This one, mine has two, because pressure regulator, of course, is up here. So I had to get a little creative. 45-degree fitting for the correct size, straight fitting, 3/8 correct size to 5/16, and then 5/16 high pressure fuel line and clamps. And yes, that is expensive fuel line right there. And it's ethanol rated and all that good jazz for the fuel line. Every piece of fuel line on it's new. New fuel tank, new fuel pump, new fuel filter. You name it back there, it's new. There's a new tank with new lines and all that Gates barricade hose. Woo, it's high. New vent lines, whole 9 yards. New pump from Delphi. And of course a new Wix fuel filter while we're in there. So we've still got some stuff to do. A lot of stuff to do. New exhaust manifold, of course. All that good jazz. I got two little boys here too. Yeah, two big old boys. There's old Duke. She's still ugly, but she runs good. That lock and hub conversion kit makes her drive nice for daily driving. So I guess that's all for now.